The first opponent in the final of Cai'er is a 4-level summoner, Fang Zhu. Faced with Cai'er's terrible strength, Fang Zhu overdraw his own strength and summons a Vajra giant bear, a level 6 monster. Compared with the 4-meter monster, Cai'er looks so small and helpless, just like the combination of beauty and beast. The Vajra giant bear leaps up to its feet and pounces on Cai'er with its paws. At this terrifying moment, an audible gasp goes round the audience. Long Haochen is even more nervous that his stomach is churning. In the next second, everyone is stunned. A clone comes out of Cai'er's body like the real body. With a whoosh, the purple shadow sweeps across the challenge arena and appears on the side of the giant bear like a ghost. The giant bear's knee suddenly blows up after being hit by the green bamboo stick, with blood gushing out. The huge body of Vajra giant bear, with no support, falls heavily to the ground, making the challenge arena shake. The deafening roar resounds through the venue, and the sharp pain on the bear's body completely stimulates its ferocity. Its eyes are as red as blood as it struggles to stand up furiously, trying to tear the girl who has hurt it in front of her into pieces. Cai'er, on the other hand, turns a deaf ear to the bear's revenge. Under the eyes of the gaping audience, her figure flies by like a purple meteor, and the green bamboo stick generates strong spiritual power, landing on the face of the giant bear. It wails in pain. The giant bear has collapsed from the hit with its head full of blood and wounds visible everywhere. After being hit by Cai'er, the giant bear is devoid of fierce and overbearing breath, limp and feeble on the ground. There's only fear and submission in its eyes when it looks at Cai'er. The world of beasts is very simple. Power is paramount. They are afraid of those who show overwhelming strength. Silence ensues in and out of the hall. Long Haochen is greatly shocked, staring at the beautiful shadow on the challenge arena in a daze. Fang Zhu, on the challenge arena, is stupefied with his mouth wide open. The young and pretty girl in front of him is really just a level 5 assassin? This is not a challenge at all. He feels a huge gap between their strength. Fang Zhu glances at the huge bear with a miserable face and swallows. Finally, he says in a slightly trembling voice, I admit defeat. Hearing this, Cai'er remains calm, her face unchanged. She turns around and leaves the challenge arena and walks straight towards Long Haochen. She breathes steadily with a calm look, as if she was not the one who has just experienced the fierce fight. Long Haochen's heart is filled with mixed feelings as he looks at Cai'er, who's coming back from the victory. He's glad that she won, but he realizes that even he's not a match for Cai'er from her performance. He feels a burning sensation from his face at the thought that he has promised to protect her for the rest of his life. Cai'er is keenly aware of the abnormality of Long Haochen, and her crisp voice sounds, "What's the matter with you?" Long Haochen stares at the beautiful face in front of him with complex expression and says in frustration, "You are so powerful. Do you still need my protection?" After hearing this, Cai'er does a double take before beaming a smile. "You are more than a man who protects me but someone always in my heart." Cai'er doesn't say these words but writes them in the palm of Long Haochen's hand, word by word. Cai'er's pretty face blushes while she's writing. Boom, Long Haochen looks thunderstruck like being struck by lightning. He gives a start and some taboos seems to break the seal suddenly, bringing him inexhaustible power. He suddenly sees the light. He looks at Cai'er with his eyes full of affection and fiery determination. He secretly makes up a mind that he shall never fail the girl in front of him no matter what. He would devote his life to protect Cai'er and nourish her heart. Seemingly feeling the love from Long Haochen, Cai'er leans over to him and buries her head in Long Haochen's chest shyly. They snuggle together and watch the rest of the game today. The 16-8 competition ends. Long Haochen, who's self-conscious, finally gathers his courage and says after a long time of hesitation, "I want to invite you to dinner, can I?" Cai'er's blushing face under her veil goes redder. However, at the thought of Long Haochen's competition tomorrow, she shakes her head gently and declines the invitation. Hearing this, Long Haochen says oh, his face full of disappointment. But Cai'er adds, there is plenty of time in the future. Then she gets up and wants to leave the field. Seeing Cai'er's beautiful figure, exquisite and perfect face, Long Haochen swallows a mouthful of saliva and says, "Cai'er, if I win the first place, can you let me hug me?" Cai'er stops in her tracks, her delicate body trembling slightly, and there seems to be mist wafting on her head. Li Xian, on the side, hearing Long Haochen's words, couldn't help holding her forehead with one hand to block her vision. What a fool. Long Haochen's excuse for a hug is too lame, she thought. Just when she assumes Cai'er would refuse, she hears a from Cai'er's mouth. Then Cai'er quickens her pace and flees here in fear. Long Haochen is in a daze for a while before rushing to catch up with her while calling, "Cai'er, slow down.